This video is going to save you hundreds of dollars. That's not a hook, that's a promise. So how? Well, there are tons of hidden costs in film festivals, and I'm going to show you some money-saving tricks so you don't break the bank. My name is Rudy Womack, and you're watching the Film Festival Guide. Nothing is more boring than making a budget, but if you're an indie filmmaker, money is probably tight, so it's very important. That's why I'm here to talk brass tacks. Before you shoot a movie, everyone knows you need a budget. How much are locations, costumes, crew, hard drives, the list goes on. But when it comes to film festivals, hardly anybody makes a budget. That's mistake number one. So what goes into a film festival budget? Well, obvious things like submission fees, but there are tons of hidden costs most filmmakers don't even consider. As an aside, I'm skipping over all the scam film festival stuff like buying your own trophy. If you want to know more about scam film festivals, check out this video in the description below. Let's start with submission fees. Nearly every film festival on Earth has multiple submission deadlines, and with each deadline, the price steadily increases. Early bird deadlines are cheaper, and later deadlines get more expensive. If you'd like to know why, I've actually discussed it in this video, link in the description. So the first line item on every filmmaker's festival budget is going to be submission fees. How much do you want to spend sending your movie out to film festivals? $500? $1,000? When you know what your upper limit is going to be, that helps better inform your decisions which film festivals are worth sending your movie to. Is spending $300 submitting to 3 or 4 larger festivals worth it? Or would that money be better used submitting to twice as many smaller festivals with networking in your immediate area? When you actually keep account of your expenditure, suddenly you won't be so submission happy. And in turn, that helps increase your acceptance rates. How much money do you usually spend on submission fees? Let me know down in the comments below. Hosting your screener is another expenditure you need to plan for. If you're using Vimeo, Frame, or another similar platform, usually those services come with a fee. Now there are a couple of free options like uploading your film directly to Film Freeway, and that will save you a little bit of money in the long run. But unless you plan to do that, you need a budget for hosting your video. Now that's already 2 expenses, and I do want to cover hidden costs in just a minute. But first, I want to address the single most expensive thing for most filmmakers on their festival run: travel. If you're going to attend the film festivals that you're submitting to, and you should, you need to budget for travel. Plane tickets, train tickets, Uber, car rentals, hotels, food. Ain't nothing in this world free, baby. Except there are some film festivals out there that are going to help with travel expenses. Sometimes it's a stipend, sometimes it's a discount with a hotel, sometimes a festival will even cater food for their filmmakers. As you are creating your festival budget, filmmakers should do a bit of investigation into travel costs. Is the city the festival is hosted in cheap or expensive to travel to? Are they going to help out with a hotel? How much are you spending on food? By doing some digging beforehand, you can better prepare and maybe even save yourself a couple of $100s in travel costs. In some cases, you might even meet other filmmakers that have been accepted to the festival and decide to carpool or even rent an Airbnb together, which might also help save some expense traveling to the festival. Getting an account with a service like Expedia is another way to save money. If you're traveling, I also strongly suggest that you budget for random adventures like museums, tours, or even camping permits. At YOIFF, there's even a big rodeo that people like to buy tickets to. So whatever it is that you're interested in, make sure you budget for it. And if you're a filmmaker going out to film festivals, there's one thing that's actually free. It doesn't cost you a single penny. That's subscribing to this channel. If you enjoy these deep dives into film festivals, if you find them helpful, please support me by liking and subscribing. Thank you very much. Okay, now your budget has submission fees, it has hosting costs, and it has travel expenses. Now, let's talk about some of the hidden film festival costs that most filmmakers are not aware of. Starting with DCPs. A DCP is a digital cinema package. In layman's terms, it's a specific codec that many theaters need in order to screen a film. In many cases, a DCP is not optional. You need to have one made in order to screen your film. But Rudy, there is tons of free open source DCP software. You don't need to pay to get one made. To that, I would respond, you get what you pay for. I've seen too many filmmakers cheap out on a DCP only to hit the play button and find that there's sync issues, or the color is all wrong, or the film itself doesn't even play. You see, the problem with free DCP software isn't the software itself. It's the fact that you don't have the proper equipment at your home to test your film. So unless you plan on taking that DCP down to your local theater and convincing them to do a test screening, my recommendation is get it professionally made. Don't cut corners and just pay for your DCP. The last thing that you want are audio issues or artifacting when you play your film at a festival. Also, here's a quick money-saving trick. I usually wait until my movie has been accepted at a festival before I make a DCP. Here's why. Many festivals have partnerships with DCP houses and they offer a discount, which is a quick way to save you a couple of bucks. Another hidden fee are parties and galas. Not every festival will charge you for parties or galas, but when they do, tickets can be expensive and might even run you a couple of $100. Ironically, it's usually the biggest festivals that charge you separately for parties. Events like Sundance or Cannes have so many events, if you pay to go to all of them, you could easily tack on a couple of $1,000 extra. Opening night and closing night galas are also a surprise expense for many filmmakers. Sometimes the ticket includes drinks or dinner, sometimes not. When making your budget, filmmakers should add an extra line item for parties or galas, especially if you're going out to a more prestigious festival. Also, many of these parties have a dress code, so you might as well add a line item for some new threads, or drip, or gear, or whatever the hell we're calling it these days. Clearances can be such a massive expense for filmmakers. Did you use a famous song? You better have a license for it. Did you use archival footage? Well, you better get clearance for it. Some festivals get very picky about this stuff, so licenses and clearances and permissions can get expensive. Either you need to have that incorporated into your budget, or you need to be prepared to cut that out of your film and replace it with something else. Another hidden cost of film festivals I see filmmakers get blindsided by are extra tickets. Now, if the festival is worth its salt, it's going to give you a couple of free tickets. However, if you want to bring along friends, family, cast, crew, you're going to need extra tickets, so make sure you plan accordingly in your budget. Extra hands can also cost some money. I'm talking PR consultants, agents, managers, reps, those people who are going to help promote your film and get it out there to the world. If you get lucky and land a spot at a major festival like Sundance, one of the first questions they will ask is, who is your rep? And if you don't have one, then get one, because you cannot do this on your own. To be clear, I'm not saying that everybody needs a PR rep, or a consultant, or an agent, or a manager, but if you are going out to the bigger festivals, you need to plan for it in your budget. I also believe that there are some feature films that absolutely have to have one in order to be successful. All of that adds up to you need to hire someone, and people cost money, so plan for it when you write your budget. Another potential hidden cost are captioning or subtitles. Now, this is becoming less so because of AI or talk-to-text software. However, if I'm taking my film to a festival where it needs an accurate translation, I would put a line item for hiring a professional translation service. So if you're planning on taking your film internationally, make sure that you set aside some money to get it done right. Marketing materials are another big hidden cost for filmmakers. Posters, postcards, tchotchkes, flyers, merch. Getting people excited about your film takes a lot of time and money. Doesn't matter if you're buying social media ads, hiring someone to cut a trailer, or passing out postcards to people at the festival, marketing isn't cheap, but it's not all doom and gloom. The good thing about marketing is you expect some kind of a return. There are indie films that do this incredibly well. Hundreds of Beavers comes to mind. They have some of the best marketing I've ever seen for a film, and they've crossed over $1 million on their theatrical run. But that grassroots support that they built was done so during their festival run, which definitely cost them some marketing money. So when you're building your budget, remember, don't just make a film, market the film. And the last big hidden cost of film festivals is opportunity cost. If you have a job but you really want to go to a film festival, you're gonna have to miss out work, which means missing out on a paycheck. And there are other life expenses you may not be accounting for. Maybe you need to hire a babysitter for your kids or your pets. Maybe you need to take time off of school. There is a cost to putting your life on hold, so make sure you plan accordingly. What was the most surprising cost that you ran into at film festivals? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, please hit the like and subscribe button. I appreciate it when you support the channel. I've got a couple more videos on their way, but until then, I'll see you on the circuit.